This is part 5 of Ninja Jumper made with Pygame 0 on Moo. So we're going to try and correct some of those problems highlighted in the previous video. And we're going to start by getting rid of the jumping loop that we can get into when we are standing on any platforms. We can get in that little loop of jumping, which looks very unrealistic. So I'm going to start off by going back down to the bottom, and maybe just after collide check, I'm going to add in a new function that's called jumped recently, bracket, bracket, colon, and it's going to use a variable called jumped. I haven't created that yet, so let's go back up to the top and under the ninja, create that new variable jumped, and it's going to start off as false, okay, because when you start the game, you haven't jumped yet, okay, so jumped equals false. Okay, so we're going to go back down to the bottom there to our function. Now, all this function is going to do is obviously globalizes that, that variable, and then it just sets it to true. Okay, sorry, back to false. Got that mixed up. It's going to say jumped equals false. So I'll explain how this all works in a moment. Okay, so obviously it starts off false, and then the function turns it back to false. That's because after we've jumped, we are going to make it go to true. Okay, but we're going to use a timed function call, and that's how it's going to know that we've recently jumped. So I'm going to say jumped equals true. Okay, so straight after we've done the keyboard press up, so say we're jumping, jumped is now true. I'm going to schedule a function to run, but in the future, so after I've pressed the key. So I'm going to say clock dot schedule, there we go, underscore unique, so it only happens once, okay, and then jumped recently, comma 0.4, so that's 0.4 seconds. You can change this if you want to prevent jumping for a bit longer, but I found 0.4 to be quite good, okay, so then that's going to schedule that function to run, and then in 0.4 seconds, it's going to set jumping back to false, and that will allow us to jump again. The only other thing I need to do is in the first line, I need to add in another little condition. So if keyboard is pressed up and collide check and not jumped, okay? So that means that it won't allow us to actually jump if we've jumped recently. So now if I go somewhere and try and jump over and over again, nope, I made a mistake. I forgot to add it up here, didn't I? So there we go. I forgot to add jumped to the global variables. That's fine. So added that up at the top in the global variable list, and now there we go. So now, as you can see, it's not allowing me to do fast jumping. If I wanted to slow that down even a bit more, I could maybe, let's double it to go to 0.8. There you go. So it's even slower now, the jumping up and down. I think 0.4 is a better value, so that I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, very good. So that's the jump loop sorted. Now let's sort out the costume issue that we're not facing the front. We're only at the moment, we're only either jumping or left. Oh, we haven't even done left and right yet. We'll add those in now as well. Why not? So let's do the costumes. So right at the front, at the top, we're gonna do so facing the front. Okay. If ninja underscore x velocity double equals 0 and not jumped, okay, and so we're not jumping, then I'm going to set ninja dot image. I'm going to set that to the first one, so jumper dash 1. Okay, so that's the first facing front image. Let's just check that works. So jump, yes. So there we go. So he changes back to that character, that costume. So we still need to do left and right. So let's go through now, and let's go through to when we're pressing left and right. So yeah, so it's just in there. So after we change the velocity, then we can say ninja dot image equals, doesn't matter if you use single or double speech marks here, left, jumper left, and then ninja.image jumper right. I'm going to add under here. So now we should have our images working as well. So here we go. Left's working. I forgot to change it, didn't I? So left and right. Good. So we've got our costumes now. Play. Left, right. Very good. Yes. Excellent. It's starting to look good. So, and when you're falling, that still needs a little bit of work, but we'll get to that in the next video. So yes, now the costumes are behaving a bit better. One other thing I just want to demonstrate is with the jumping, something that I didn't point out in the previous video. You can actually check and see what's happening with our jumping to see what's happening with the velocity. If you do ninja print ninja underscore y velocity, then we can actually have a look and see. Wait, it's printing something else at the moment. Let me just remove that. It's printing that platform one. Just get rid of that. Okay, so now we can actually see what's happening when we're jumping. You'll see it starts off with high velocity, but then as you reach the peak, it slows down. So that's how the jumping works to make it look realistic. So we've got jumping up, left and right. We've got costumes, left and right, and it's starting to come together. What we're going to look at in the next video is we're going to look at stopping the lateral movement in midair, so you can't move, you can't continue to move whilst you're falling or you're in midair, just to, again to make it a little bit more realistic. Okay, so that was part 5 of Ninja Jumper. Go and give that one a go.